So in this video, I'm going to talk about the one concept that I believe is the sole reason that I've been able to become profitable. This concept basically describes how the entire market moves. It describes how institutions are able to place orders, and it describes why people think that their stop loss keeps on getting hunted. And a little spoiler for you, your stop loss isn't purposely getting hunted, but it is actually getting hunted, as institutions will need your stop loss and need your take profit to be able to actually place orders of magnitude in the market. So a basic definition of liquidity is that liquidity is the available orders that are currently in the market that allow buying and selling to happen. So this can include stuff such as buy orders, sell orders, stop losses, take profits, and limit orders. This is the basic fundamentals of liquidity, and these are what liquidity are. Buy orders, sell orders, stop losses, take profits, and limit orders. As your stop loss and your take profit are basically just buy and sell orders which you set. As when you place a long, for example, here you're placing a buy order, and then you're placing a sell order, and you're placing another sell order. But one of your sell orders you sell in a loss, and the other sell order you sell in a profit. And then when you place a short, here for example, you're placing a sell order, but then you're placing a buy order here, which will give you profit, and another buy order here, which will give you a loss. And a limit order is basically when price is not at the current place that you want to place an order. So you just say when it hits here, automatically fill my order. And that could be a buy or sell. So the main important idea is liquidity is buy and sell orders in the market. And liquidity usually is around obvious levels, which we call liquidity pools. And these levels include swing highs, swing lows, equal lows, session highs and lows, and major support and resistance levels. So the main thing that I'll focus on here is swing highs and swing lows, as all the other ones are just more fancy versions of swing highs and swing lows. So let's say we have basic bullish market structure here. We are creating higher highs and we're creating higher lows. So the interesting thing about this bullish market structure is that when people take longs, an average trader would take a long position, but they normally bid their stop loss at a swing. And then they normally bid their take profit at another swing. And then when you have bearish market structure, creating lower lows and lower highs, you have the same sort of concept. The trader will take a short and their stop loss will be somewhere here. Or they'll take a short here and their stop loss will be here. Or they will take a short here and the stop loss will be here. The stop loss is at the highs. That's what average normal traders do. They bid their stop loss at these swing positions, at these swinging positions, which is what we call a liquidity pool. These swinging positions are liquidity pools. So let's say I am here, I want to take a buy position, and I'm gonna buy a position with 5 contracts. 5 contracts, buy position. That must mean that someone must sell me 5 contracts. As I cannot buy something that isn't being sold, that is just obvious economy. For someone to buy something, someone has to sell them something, and that is the same for futures markets. If I want to buy 5 contracts of the Nasdaq, someone has to sell me 5 contracts of the Nasdaq. The difference though is when institutions want to buy, as the institution would want to buy 2,000 contracts. So they need someone or multiple people to sell them 2,000 contracts. They would need multiple people or one person to sell them 2,000 contracts when they want to buy 2,000 contracts. This normally is not possible. This literally is not possible normally. Normally there will be, 50 available. So their order would not get filled. Their order would just be stuck. And then for some hedge funds and some institutions, what will happen is their order gets stuck or gets rejected from the order books, or it will get slipped. So they say, I want to buy here. but no, there's not enough available, so you end up getting filled up here, and your stop loss is still there, and your take profit is like here. You get slipped. Your order gets slipped and manipulated and changed. And for people like us, when we're playing with small position sizes, we may get slipped from here to here, and we end up losing. I've lost an extra $100 here and there just by getting slippage. But institutions, they'll get slipped from here to here, and not just that, this amount of movement for them would be millions. It would be millions and millions and millions of dollars that the institution would lose from purely slippage. So a thing that institutions do to reduce slippage and reduce how much they lose is they fill their orders in places where there are more contracts available. They purposely target areas to buy or sell large amounts of contracts when there is more contracts available at that area. And what are these areas? Remember what we say here? Liquidity is the buy and sell orders. And where does liquidity rest? At liquidity pools. And then what does the institution want to do? They want to purchase when there's more contracts available, and the contracts are equal to liquidity. So what's the most obvious place for an institution to want to do a price movement or want to do a position? Here, 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 here at liquidity pools. Institutions want to place orders at liquidity pools. This is a very, very important thing. So if we are currently here in the market, the institution will not want to place an order. It's too sketchy. So they would want to push price down first, get into this liquidity region, and then place an order to push price upwards. Or maybe if we're in this shorting position, it is literally too sketchy for the institution to place a short right now, as they don't have enough liquidity. They may get filled at a horrible, horrible price level. So they will manipulate price to kind of push it up, and then it may push up even further. Just take out liquidity, could push up as much as they need just to be able to dump it. And then once they dump it, they properly dump it. And I'll show you some examples from the NASDAQ below. This is literally the current date. I haven't looked back, but I will be able to find them instantly. You can clearly see when price is institutional. Look, this is the live market. Look here. Look here. So we have some bullish market structure. We're pushing up, we're creating higher highs. But then this region here has clear liquidity. This is a swing high. And then what the institutions have done, they grabbed the liquidity from here, they grabbed the contracts pushing up, and then they absolutely manipulated price downwards. And you can see when a movement is institutional versus just being like pre-market, just being kind of slow. You can see when banks and hedge funds and institutions are wanting to move price. And let's try to find another example. Here. So we have a clear, obvious swing high here. And then we had the institution coming up, pushing, grabbing contracts, grabbing liquidity from this region, then dumping price. Let's try to find another example here. This is all the live market from right now. This is literally the current market. I have not cherry-picked examples. This is what's happening right now. Multiple times, you can see. There we go. We have liquidity from this region. We're pushing up. We're sweeping the liquidity. We're getting contracts, and then we're pushing. And you can see the push. The push is massive because it's the institutions. It is banks. It is hedge funds. It is proper movement. It's not small traders like us. It is proper movement. That's a kind of sketchy one. I wouldn't trade this. There is a sweep liquidity. They swept it, then they dumped price. That's an okay example, but not the best. Here's a good example though. Here, we come up, we push, we sweep, we dump. We push down. Happens all the time. Look. We come up, we sweep that high, we push, we dump. And it can happen both ways as well. As you see here, here we actually have the market pushing down and then taking liquidity from this region and then pushing back up. This is another manipulation. But you can see it does keep going back, keep going back, keep going back. There's going to be examples. There's going to be constant examples of this. And this is why people think the market's rigged against them. People think, oh, why is my stop loss getting targeted? Why do I keep getting manipulated out my trade? It's because the hedge fund literally cannot place an order unless they bring price to the region where your stop loss or take profit is. So for us, we can use this for our advantage to be able to understand where these price levels are, and we can target them, or we can use reactions off of them. And we know that that's going to be involved with hedge funds. That is going to be involved with institutional traders. We know that reactions off of these key areas are going to be real, proper reactions, and not just a slow little choppy price movement. It's going to be a proper reaction off of these levels. It is something that happens all the time. It is something that's obvious. And when you build discretion and when you build a system around liquidity, like I have, it is quite reliable for your trades.